Alright, so this was the lesson from August 13th. So it asked, what was your favorite toy as a child? Now, I don't know about y'all, but these are some type of toys that we used to play with. But that being said, we pulled some data, and we're going to use the second period data just as an example. So if you're from a different class period, that's okay. It's probably just a little bit different. So this is my second period data. So I have in that first box, it's asking me which of the following was a favorite toy and how many people said that. So first, I've got 2 Barbies from second period. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to write 2 right here where it says Barbies. And then I'm going to look at Legos. I'm going to go back to my data. I'm going to split screen these. So 2 for Legos. Ninja Turtles, we had 1. For video games, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And for dress-up clothes, we had 2. We had a lot of people playing video games. So when it talks about individuals and variables, for variables, it's the type of toy. So toy type. Okay, when it talks about individuals, it's talking about who are you asking this question to. So for individuals, it's actually our second period students in this case, or just students in general. Okay. Now, is the variable, the difference between categorical and quantitative. Quantitative means that there's a number, okay? Categorical means it is a type of category. So for instance, we had toy type be our variable, right? So is that categorical or quantitative? Is there a number assigned to it, or is it a type of something? Well, it's a toy type, so it's going to be a categorical variable. So now we're going to go to Staplet.com and enter the class data. So we're going to go to Staplet.com. And this app we're actually going to use quite often when we create graphs and stuff because it's real quick and easy to use. And so we're going to go into one categorical variable single group. So our variable name is toy type. Or type of toy, whichever one. And then we're going to say Legos. We're going to say Ninja Turtles. We're going to add another line. We're going to say Barbie. We're going to say video games. I think we got one more. Video games. And then we're going to say dress up clothes. Okay, and then we're going to put the frequency in here. So how many times that occurred. So we're going to look back at our data really quick. And we've got 2 Barbies. We've got 11 video games. We've got 2 dress-up clothes. We've got 2 Legos. We've got 1 Ninja Turtle. Okay? And then we're going to hit Begin Analysis. Okay, so here is a bar chart. So I'm going to copy this down onto my paper, or I'm just going to take it and pull it over here into my menu pad. And then they also want us to do a pie chart. So we're going to go back over here and we're going to say, hey, we want a pie chart. Look at that beautiful pie chart. I didn't have to do anything. Okay. And that's how you use Staplet. And if you wanted to reset everything, that's fine. It also tells you the percentages for each of these as well. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and answer the next question. So it says, sometimes it's helpful to graph more than one variable. Okay, so now we're adding in the fact that there's males and females. Okay, so we're going to go back to our data. There we go. And then we're going to look at, of the people who said Barbies, how many were female and how many were male. So 0 males, 2 females. Of Legos, how many were male, how many were female? Well, we got 1 of each. Ninja Turtles. We got 1 male. Video games. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 females. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 males. And for dress-up clothes, we got 2 females. So for the percent of students who chose Ninja Turtles. So we've got to look at, all right, how many students in total do we have? Okay, well, let's count these up. Okay, we've got 2 females. Go into our handy dandy calculator because it makes our lives easier. 2 females, 1 male, 1 female, plus 1 male, plus 7, plus 4, plus 2. So out of 18 total people, right? Out of 18 total people, how many students chose Ninja Turtles? Okay, so we're going to look at the total number of people who chose Ninja Turtles. It was only 1. So I'm going to go into my handy dandy calculator. I'm going to type 1 divided by 18. And I'm going to get 5.5%, right? Okay, so then what you're going to do, let me make sure I'm muted. Yep. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to say percent of students who are male and chose Ninja Turtles. Okay, so percent of students who are male, percent of students who are male and chose Ninja Turtles. So out of the total number of students, so out of 18, how many were male and chose Ninja Turtles? Well, in this case, we only had 1, right? So we only have 1 out of 18, which is 5.5%. Okay. On this last one, it says percent of females. Okay, so we're totaling up the number of females in our class. So we're going to say 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9. So out of 9 girls, how many chose Legos? Well, 1. So we're going to go into our calculator and we're going to type 1 divided by 9. Okay, and that's going to give us 11.1%. So these all have different names, and the different names for this are, this type is a marginal relative frequency. This one right here is called a joint relative frequency. And this last one is a conditional. Okay? And the way I like to remember this is that for marginal, we're looking at just the margin over here. Margin meaning like the side of it. For joint relative frequency, that means that there are 2 conditions of that margin. So they've got to be at male, and they also have to cross at Ninja Turtles. So it has to be this number right here. Okay? And then conditional means that they have to have some type of requirement. So you have to be female and choose Legos. Okay? So how many variables does this table have? Okay, so on this one, we've got 2 variables because you can either be male or female, or you've got the different categories of toys. Are the variables categorical or quantitative? Well, they're categorical because they're not numbers, right? Which variable would best explain or predict the other variable? Well, gender could predict toy choice. Okay, now, not always, because just because you're a girl doesn't mean you play with dress up. You actually could like Ninja Turtles, right? It just kind of depends. Okay? So, again, this is explanatory, and then this is your response. So, because you're female, you're more likely to choose something that is more girly. So like, dressing up or Barbies. Again, not the case, because like I played with Ninja Turtles when I was a kid. So now we're going to go into Saplet again, and we're going to create a two categorical variable. So we're going to have the rows, which is going to be Legos, Barbie, video game, Ninja Turtles, and then dress up. And then we got male and female. Okay, so our explanatory variable is going to be that gender aspect, and then the response is the toy type. Okay, and then we're going to put in our numbers for this, and we're going to use number 5 in order to do that. So we're going to go back to our little chart, and we've got 0 guys, 2 girls for Barbie, 1 and 1 for Legos. Video games, we've got 7 and 4. Ninja Turtles, we got 1 and 0. And dress up, we got 0 and 2. And then we're going to begin analysis. And so we'll take these bars and we're going to move it over to our number 8. So one thing that I want to point out on here, this bar graph looks a little weird because it's called a segmented bar. Okay, so segmented bar means that it has pieces, but it's stacked in one bar because you always have 100% of your participants, right? So out of the 100%, we had 11.1% who were male and ninja, right? So we're going to take this, and we're going to post it in here. Okay. And then we're going to also, they want us to do a side-by-side bar graph and a segmented bar graph. So side-by-side bar graph is going to look like this. Okay. And this really kind of gives us an overall picture of the different people, right? Okay, so on number 9, it says, how did the bars in the side-by-side bar graph relate to the bars in the segmented? Well, if you actually stacked up all, so if you stacked all bars for male from side-by-side, then you get segmented. Okay? Is there an association between gender and type of toy? Well, that's for you to kind of decide. I would say yes, solely because, I mean, look at the more male type toys. Okay? Most of them are liked by more males. Dress Up and Barbies, we didn't have anybody who said that that was their favorite toy, right? Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. So yes, knowing gender changes the percent chosen. If there was not an association between gender and toy, what would the graphs look like? So theoretically, if there's not an association, then the bars should look the same. For both genders. And really, so important ideas. Today we talked about categorical versus quantitative.